So now on to the biggest news stories of the week. As of Sunday, I mean, something might have changed by Tuesday. We might have had another 10 people released by the time this episode goes up on Tuesday. I'm recording this on Sunday afternoon, and right before I hit the record button, I got another notification from someone on Twitter I read somewhere, and this is from a reliable source, that Taryn Terrell, the current women's champion, by the way, mind you, and Awesome Kong are on their way out as well. That goes up to 5 people, to my knowledge anyway, that might be leaving TNA ASAP, almost immediately. So here's a list of guys that are rumored, their contracts are rumored to be up and will be leaving TNA after Slammiversary tonight. We've got Austin Aries. This has been, rumored for a while. I'll break down each one. I'll just list them off right now. Austin Aries, James Storm, Magnus, Taryn Terrell, and Awesome Kong. Now, there's something going on with Angle right now. I don't think he's leaving. I think he has a health issue. Like I said, I didn't read the spoilers. I don't want to read the spoilers. We'll find out on Wednesday whether he wins or loses. I have a pretty good idea what the result of that match is going to be with EC3. But anyway, I guess he has some sort of issue, which does not bode well for TNA. Like I said, I laugh not because I want to see them go down, just because what are the fucking odds of all this shit going down at once? Unless it's some elaborate work, kudos to them, but if it's not, if this is legitimate, then they're in some deep, deep shit. It really sucks. But yeah, Angle, he has some tumor or something in his neck, which, wow, that blows. And that's really unfortunate if that's true. I guess we'll find out in the next couple of days, and I won't talk about that right now. But let's break down the 5 people who are going to be rumored to be leaving. If there's maybe more, like I said, maybe we find out as, this is being recorded on Sunday, excuse me. By Tuesday, we might find out more people that might be leaving the company after this Sunday, after tonight. But anyway, going back to the people I mentioned before. Austin Aries, I talked about it on last week's episode. His contract has been rumored to be up for a while now, and it's supposed to be expiring this weekend. And I guess I have no idea what the results of the upcoming shows were, as I mentioned, but I guess he already wrapped up with a promotion. He's wrestling tonight, I think. Either it's Bobby Roode or Austin Aries wrestling tonight at Slammiversary. I think that pay-per-view's live, so if he's not already done, he will be done tonight. But Austin Aries, I talked about on last week's episode, is on his way out of TNA. Not surprising, do I want to see him leave? Absolutely not. The guy's amazing, but he's done a lot of what there is to do in TNA. He's a big money player. It's a big loss to TNA. Would I like to see him in WWE? Absolutely. I would love to see a lot of these people, if not all of them, in WWE. I don't think they're going to want them. But Austin Aries, though, as I mentioned in a clip for the YouTube channel, I think the perception of what a small guy can do, he's not the tallest guy in the world, of course, but he's so goddamn good. He's got the full package. He's got the it factor. He's got the mic skills. He's awesome in the ring. And I know back in 2011, I believe anyway, from what I've read, this is likely true from what I've heard, I've heard a lot of people talk about it. He tried out for the 2011 season of Tough Enough, 4 years ago and did not make the cut. Whereas a guy like Matt Cross did, who was also an indie sensation, and he was cut pretty quickly from the show too. So even if Austin Aries made the cut, he probably would not have lasted long because they probably wanted to go with someone that did not have much experience or someone that was bigger or whatever. Maybe he would have won. I have no idea. And I know Andy Levine won, and that was a fucking disaster. But anyway, I think since then, though, maybe they overlooked him because of his size. But in the last 4 years, he's come so far. I mean, WWE rather has come so far. Austin Aries too has kind of proved his naysayer is wrong in TNA with all the success he's had over there. But in WWE, the perception of what an indie guy, a glorified Ring of Honor star can do has changed so drastically. You look at someone like a CM Punk, who that same year won the WWE Championship and made the product as hot as it ever was in a long, long time. You look at a guy like Daniel Bryan, who main evented WrestleMania 30 and walked out with the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Championship. You look at a guy like Seth Rollins, who the very next year walked out of WrestleMania 31, the main event, as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. The same thing goes for guys like Kevin Owens and Cesaro and Dean Ambrose and all these other indie-rific guys, however you want to call them. Look at all they've succeeded and how they've gotten over in WWE. Just because you're a glorified indie star doesn't mean you can't make it in WWE. That's kind of the perception of that kind of changed with CM Punk all those years ago. And with this pipe bomb and whatever else, I think it really did have a direct impact on the future and the quote-unquote change that was brought to WWE for a short time anyway, but it had lasting impact. It had a long-term impact on the industry in WWE anyway. that a Ring of Honor guy or a smaller guy that doesn't fit the typical mold of a WWE superstar can be successful in WWE. So that being said, do I think an Austin Aries could flourish in WWE? Absolutely, if not NXT. I think it's well worth a shot. I don't know if they would give a look at him. But the thing is that the report, and this is all speculation, nothing is set in stone, as we know when it comes to the internet, that WWE had no interest in anyone in TNA. The current roster as of a couple months ago. I know they took in Samoa Joe, but that's because Triple H has had an interest in Samoa Joe for a while now. Everybody else, maybe with even Kurt Angle as the guy they didn't want back. They did kind of want him back, but not at the schedule he was offering them, and they said no, we're not doing that for whatever reason, which I think is bullshit. But anyway, they didn't take back Kurt Angle. Maybe a Jeff Hardy when he's done in TNA. I could see him coming back to WWE. It's a matter of when and not if, I think, with Jeff Hardy. But anyway, with the other guys, though, I think, and they don't want an Austin Aries or they don't want a Bobby Roode, and they already have enough talent as it is in NXT. They might want to continue to load up on talent, but they might not want anyone from TNA because they already have so many stars as it is in NXT and in WWE. They're not utilizing all their stars and all their the rookies with potential, but they already have a lot of great talent, a lot of big names right now in NXT and WWE. They're not going to pick up everybody who leaves TNA. That's kind of a guarantee. But still, I think Austin Aries is a guy that's worth a look. James Storm has been with TNA since day one, so when he leaves the company, much like Jeff Jarrett, it's really seen as, wow, this, shit's going down. This is getting real. James Storm, I've always been a huge fan of. I think the guy is great. He's got the full package. He's got the mic skills. He's got the in-ring skills. Loved his time with Bobby Roode. But even as a single star, in the last couple of years, since he broke away from Beer Money and Fortune and America's Most Wanted, all that kind of tag team stuff, sans the stuff with Gunner from 2013, he's really shown a lot of potential as a breakout star, as a single star, as both a babyface and a heel. I was always really disappointed. I'm now even more so disappointed. He was never given another run with that World Heavyweight Championship. James Storm is such a great talent that they've completely wasted and neglected in the last couple of years. I mean, back, right after he broke out as that babyface, did the whole feud with Bobby Roode, which was great. A lot of people thought, myself included, thought he was winning the Bound for Glory series that year, and he didn't. But they still had a star on their hands. They wasted him. They put him in the tag team division. It was a complete clusterfuck. And the Revolution shit, which was not that great, and kind of a waste of his talents, because they put him with a bunch of bums and Abyss and Sonata. Sonata's good, but Manic and Koya, I don't care, So the Revolution was a kind of a bomb. But he worked well in the role, though. The material was kind of very, very Bray Wyatt-esque, very Wyatt family-esque. But he made the most of what he was given, made it very, very good, was one of the top players in TNA, and that was about it. He was putting stupid feuds with frickin' Magnus, which I thought had potential, but they wasted that with a dumb murder storyline. They had, what else? The crap with Gunner and Samuel Shaw, and, I don't care. It was so stupid. But, James Storm's another guy who I feel like they very much underutilized in his final years with the company, and could he be WWE bound? I highly doubt it. I think at the age that he's at, and I know, the argument, age doesn't matter with Samoa Joe being in his mid-30s, but, Samoa Joe is a guy, had Triple H not had interest in him, he probably would not be in WWE. I'll say that right now. He should have been, but if Triple H did not, have some, see the star for he is, see the star that Samoa Joe is, he probably would not be in WWE, because I know Vince and Kevin Dunn especially are not big fans of him, which is bullshit, but it is what it is. James Storm is a guy who does not have that same worldwide appeal that a Samoa Joe or Finn Balor or even an AJ Styles, who I know has had, who WWE has shown some interest in bringing in at one point. James Storm doesn't have that same appeal. I'm not saying he can't make it to WWE. I think he could do very well for himself in the company. It's not like, he can have the same character. Like Kevin Owens, he's the same guy to an extent that he was in Ring of Honor. Just not, throwing the bird around and stuff, not flipping the bird to everybody. Just kind of not a watered down, but just kind of a revamped version of his former self, and he's still awesome. Triple H is letting him be himself. With a James Storm kind of character as a babyface, he's not going to be drinking the beer and doing the super kicks. It's very reminiscent of Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold. And as a heel, he was very much a second-rate Bray Wyatt. Although he did the material well, like I mentioned, they would not bring him in with that character because they know they already have someone like that in a Bray Wyatt. So what do you do with him? I have no idea. Maybe you could repackage him, make a star out of him, or the star that I think that James Storm is. But again, I don't know if it's worth the effort at the age that he's at and all the other potential stars they could pick up from TNA or around the indies or whatever. They probably won't, which is unfortunate. Maybe with Bobby Roode. I don't know what the deal is with Bobby Roode right now. But Bobby Roode and James Storm would be a great way to bring them into WWE. Again, as beer money, would they be beer money? No. They would probably be something different. They'd probably be water cash or something like that. I don't know. They would not have the same gimmick they did in TNA, but still, I think from an in-ring standpoint, they're such a great team that I could see them doing well for themselves in WWE. I mean, maybe not. I know the Young Bucks didn't sign with them because they feel like they probably would not have been utilized to their full potential. And that's a very logical fear to have because they've brought in teams before like the Wolves and they didn't really pick up them, the American Wolves or whatever. So I don't know. They probably would have been on main event every week and stuff, so it's probably better they didn't sign with WWE. But anyway, though, I feel like with a beer money, it's worth a shot. It's better than not picking them up at all. I think Bobby Roode is a guy that could make it in WWE. He has the look. He has the full package that WWE looks for in its stars. And speaking of that, Magnus is another guy I feel like screams WWE. He's a guy that screams to me main event guy in WWE. It might be some high praise there, but I feel like he has the look and everything that WWE wants, an up-and-coming guy. And he's so young, too. I think he's not even... If he's 30, he's at least 30 or 31. If he's not, he's like 29. He's really young. He's a former world champion of TNA. As a babyface, I thought he did some of the best work of his career. They ruined him as a heel. But, before that, though, as a babyface, he was really ripping it up. He's been doing well for himself in the last couple of months. With the exception of the feud with James Storm, which was really stupid. And then, but yeah, I think Magnus is really good. I think he's a guy that WWE should absolutely take a look at. From what I understand, Magnus will be doing more work with Jeff Jarrett in Global Force Wrestling, and whether that means an invasion, I have no idea. I'll get to that in a couple minutes. But if he's not going to Global Force or he's going to be hanging around the indies for a while, he is a guy I would love to see in WWE. Do I bank on it? Absolutely not. I don't think it's going to happen. But if I was Vince, I would definitely take a look at that guy. Bring him in for a tryout, whatever. He's so good. There's no way they can't consider bringing him in at some point.